Do you have a dream job?
You hear it a lot in job descriptions. You hear it a lot in hiring. Find your dream job. This could be your dream job. Dreams change.
Just because I like these things doesn't mean that should be my job. I was like, oh yeah, this is my dream. Then I got there and I was like, oops, don't like this.
Welcome to Job Search Stories. I'm Jen, a career coach and your new go-to gal for all things career advice.
And I'm Gina, and I'm here as an expert on job seekers at Indeed. And we're both going to help you kind of navigate this crazy world of job searching and maybe help some people out there get their next job.
I think so. And today we are going to be talking about dream jobs and if they even exist.
I feel like I have a lot of hot takes on this, but not as many hot takes as you.
I have thoughts.
I know you do.
I have a lot of thoughts.
We can dive in.
Let's go ahead.
Okay.
Let's get in there.
You don't sound happy about this at all. I think we can both answer this question, but I'll ask you first. Do you have a dream job?
I have an idea of what I like to do in a job that are my dream scenarios.
That was very diplomatic.
But I think we can just take a step back and even define what a dream job is.
Yeah. Okay, let's not define what we think a dream job is. What do we think other people out there when they're saying dream job, like what are they saying?
Yeah. So to me, I think there are probably two definitions, right? Okay. There's this idea of a job when you're younger, of what you think you're going to grow up to be, and it's what you really want to do. So very idealistic, right? And then I think closer to maybe reality would be you're going to find a job that is comprised of all the things that you want, all the things that you're good at, pays you all the money you want to be making, and gives you, checks off all the boxes so that you can live a happy life with no stress and just enjoy working day to day.
Okay, so growing up, what was the dream?
I was going to be a journalist.
Really? So you're 5 and you're like,
I really wanted to.
I'm going to be on the beat and I'm going to investigate.
I really did. I really thought I was going to be that gal.
Okay.
And all through school, journalism, newspaper, got scholarships for it. Yeah. Thought, I'm going to write.
Yeah. Write your little heart out.
Write my little heart out.
Yeah.
I'm going to write for... Yeah, it was probably even a local newspaper too.
Oh,
I didn't have high aspirations of I'm going to go work for a major
publication,
or national publication. No, it was just I just wanted to write.
Okay. I had 3 dreams.
What were your dreams?
Singer. Astronaut. Duh.
Okay.
And then lawyer, because everyone told me I would be a good lawyer when I was younger.
Okay. So I actually have a little bit of survey data for you.
Okay. Give me the data.
What do you think the top 5 jobs are that people have said are their dream jobs? And a lot of this is from when they were children.
Okay.
Top 5 jobs. One of them for sure was on your list.
Okay. What was that one? Astronaut?
No.
So singer?
No.
Lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Lawyer?
Yes.
A doctor?
Yeah. Doctor or nurse.
Doctor or nurse. So healthcare. Okay. Maybe thinking about kids, archaeologist or something with animals.
Not playing with dinosaurs.
Veterinarian?
No animals.
Do I not know jobs? Okay. A scientist, something that has to do with science? No? Okay. I'm
do you want a lifeline? Do you want me to just tell you?
Architect? Sorry.
Okay. No. Did you start with the A's? And you're working your way down? Well, guess what? There is one that starts with an A that you didn't mention. Artist is one, and there is another one with an A.
Antiquer?
No.
I'm ridiculous.
Where are we in the land of?
Actor.
There you go.
Is that
there
5?
you go. That's only 4. There is one more. And then with this
does
one,
it start with an A?
It does not.
A B? Okay.
We're further down the line in the alphabet. But I want you to think about, if you're a child, who are you seeing every day?
Oh.
Who could be
teacher?
A shining light in your life? It's a teacher. That would be the top 5.
That was not my dream. I hated other kids when I was a kid.
Well, you know what? The 2,000 people that were surveyed in 2018 really like their teachers.
That's a small amount.
It's not a big pool.
Yeah.
It's not a big pool.
But yeah, dream job, lawyer was definitely the top. And like you're saying, through school, I was going to go to school to become a lawyer. And I was told journalism was a good major to have if you also wanted to get into law. So I did that.
So what happened?
Minored in government and politics. went and got my master's. I was like, oh, I don't like school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you decided it wasn't for you.
Decided it wasn't for me,
Well, not even the profession wasn't for you. Decided you'd had enough school.
Yeah, like I knew I didn't want a job where I had to go to years and years of school.
Okay.
So that wasn't my dream. Didn't fulfill me. Look at me now. Anyways, so like the job you're doing now?
Yes.
Is this your dream job?
Parts of it are.
Cool.
I mean, ultimately, I really just want to be paid to talk.
Yeah, me too.
I really love working with job seekers.
Yeah.
Definitely know that's my passion and would love to continue to help people in that way. So yeah, absolutely. Parts of this are very dreamy in that way. What about you?
Yeah. I'm into it.
That was the most unconvincing yeah.
Okay, I think when we get further in this conversation, we're both going to have the same or similar thoughts on like dream job.
Oh, for sure.
So I think for sake of that, I'll say yes. I definitely feel like the interests that I had when I was younger, I didn't think about those as being something that I could do work in. And so now that I'm doing the work in those interests, I'm like, yeah, this is my dream. I just didn't realize it, that this was something that I wanted to do when I got older.
Okay, so it wasn't necessarily the dream that you had for yourself when you were younger.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, just because I like these things doesn't mean that that should be my job. But now I realize that it can be. She's got it all. Anyways, so do you feel like the perfect job exists for anyone?
I think when we talk about dream jobs, and I know I roll my eyes a lot.
Yeah, you do.
I actually really do not like the term dream job.
I know you don't.
You hear it a lot in job descriptions. You hear it a lot in hiring. Find your dream job. This could be your dream job.
Yeah.
Dreams change.
Yep.
Right? There's always the possibility that the job is exactly what you think you want.
Yeah.
And then you get into the job and it's not what you thought it was at all.
Yeah.
I'm of the camp that there will always be a portion of your job that maybe you don't like to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, can that still be your dream job? Or for it to be your dream job, do you have to love every piece of it?
I mean, I have some friends who I feel like they're like, yes, I have to love every single aspect of the things that I do in order to want to do the job. I think they probably have like less traditional roles, and that's why they feel that way. But
what's a role that they might have?
I have some friends who just like do like random design stuff and are like influencers.
And that's their dream?
Yeah.
Was that always their dream?
Probably not, because that didn't exist until a couple of years ago. It just became a job, but...
You know what? We have dreams every night.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they're called dreams, though. And I think you're right. Like, not every aspect of your day-to-day is going to be all peaches and roses. And
I think, and that's when working with people on the job search, I think that's the part that they get hung up on, especially when they're evaluating job descriptions and trying to figure out whether or not it's a role that they should apply for. If they're looking at it and, you know, there are 10 responsibilities listed, but they only like 7 of them. They're like, okay, this isn't it.
That's like, a good ratio.
This isn't a good, but for them, you know, maybe those 3 are deal breakers.
That's true.
I remember I worked with one guy who was looking for this job. He really liked pretty much all of the aspects of it. But the one light item that he could not get over was that it required public speaking.
Oof.
So it would require that if he was doing research, that he would have to go to conferences and have to present.
Yeah.
And he hated public speaking.
Yeah.
And so for him, that was a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that he wouldn't even consider, even though everything else looked exactly like he wanted.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I feel like, but sometimes I'm like, that might just be a part of your dream job.
Right.
You know, and you can't get around it.
Right. Because if a part of what of your dream is, I want to be really good at this one thing. Okay, if you're an expert in your field, you might have to talk in front of people sometimes.
Like me.
Like you. I only want to talk to you ever, Gina.
I feel like I'm constantly talking, like at work. Like that's my whole job, is like explaining things to people and talking, and I hate it. So is it my dream job? I'm just saying, like, I love my job. I like my job, but that is a big part of my job.
As you were saying that, I was just thinking, I think I actually do get paid to only talk.
Yeah, I don't know why you're like, oh, I wish that was my dream.
It's like what I'm doing every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I am living my dream job. I've just been convinced. You've convinced me.
Living the dream. Okay, so there's like this saying, right? And it's like, do what you love so it doesn't feel like work. Is that like even possible? Or like, does it just end up feeling like work? Either way.
I think at some point things just feel like work.
Yeah.
We're tired. Again, like there are gonna be parts of our job that are just, maybe they're the things that we don't like to do. They're like the necessary evil bits.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes jobs have really administrative portions.
Yeah.
And if you don't like doing that, well, you kind of have to. You know, they're just those things that come along with it. So no, I feel like
it's always going to be work.
It's always going to feel a little bit like work.
I mean,
I'm a bit of a pessimist in that way.
But also it's like adulting. Like, I don't like doing the dishes. God, do the dishes. Or they're not going to get done. Well, yes, but you still have to put the dishes in the dishwasher. And even that is a struggle. Taking out the trash, all that stuff. I don't like doing that stuff, but you have to.
Yeah, some of it you just have to do. It just comes with the role. Yeah,
I agree. I think that like, if you don't like every aspect of your work, that's okay.
And I think you also have to think too, it's like, if you were going to be doing that job somewhere else, would that be part of the same role?
Right. Okay, so I feel like, we should definitely like differentiate the fact that like, if you feel like it's too much work, it sometimes could be like the company or like the role at that company. It's not always going to be like your dream job. It could just be maybe the people you're working with are making it feel too hard.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, maybe the job could be better somewhere else, right? Yeah. It's not necessarily a job that's making it bad. It's the external factors, I guess you could say.
You got to try it out. Because like for me, I was in a couple different industries before I landed here. And I was like, oh yeah, this is my dream. Then I got there and I was like, oops, don't like this. Got to get out. But I stayed there for years.
What were some of the things that made you realize? So it sounded like maybe it wasn't necessarily the role, but it was where you were doing it? Were there certain factors that made it unideal?
Well, my first job was not what I do now. So it's like was
totally different.
Totally different.
Okay.
And I realized I was like, oof, I don't want to do this. I don't like the day-to-day. I don't like the roles and responsibilities. It's not fun. And I know like work doesn't have to be fun, but it also shouldn't be like, I feel like I don't want to wake up in the morning and do this thing.
Was that a job that you thought was going to be a dream job type job?
Yep. And I literally was like, when I landed the job, first it was an internship, then it was the, full-time job. I was like, yes, living the dream. And then like after a year or two, I was like, ooh, I don't like this. This is not fun. Yeah. I felt like a lot of the things I was trying to do, I was receiving feedback where I was like, oh, like I actually like am doing this job wrong because like I thought it was something else. And it's not that. So, I mean, look at me now, living the dream. But do you feel like there's been any jobs you've worked that have been like your dream job? Like it was it.
Yeah. I'm also very easy to please.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm one of those people where...
That's not true.
You think so?
No. That's not true at all.
What are you saying about me right now?
No, it's okay. We'll talk about it later.
I do think that... I mean, again, I am very fortunate to where I was able to kind of realize... Not early in my career. I think it took me about 10 years to realize the parts about my jobs or the jobs that I had done before that I really enjoyed. Yeah. And so I really looked for that in future roles. And so I would say outside of this job, which has provided a number of different opportunities for me, which I do enjoy. Yeah, my previous job, really loved it. Loved working with and around other career coaches. It was an environment where we all sat together. We were all able to listen to each other's coaching sessions and learn from each other. It's a collaborative environment. Really, I really enjoyed that. That to me was pretty dreamlike. Yeah.
Do you feel like there's other people who are like living the dream? Like love their job. It's the dream job.
I think there are. I mean, well, you remember that survey I mentioned earlier with the top 5 roles?
Yeah.
Okay. From that same survey, it said that 43% of Americans said that they were living their dream job.
That's like 50. That's like half.
I mean, to be fair, they only talked to 2,000 people.
2,000 people, yeah. So 1,000 people.
Those 2,000 people felt pretty satisfied. Yeah. But I do think there are people out there that feel like they really are.
Yeah.
And that's great for them. But I think that there are also just some realities that we have to face where we have to realize that, one, opportunities may not always be what we think they're going to be. It might seem really great on the outset, and then you get in there and you're like, ooh, this is a little bit This is not what I thought.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's, you know what? It takes a bit to get to that dream job.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you got to put in a little bit of work.
You need the skill set.
Reset your expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, you listed those 5 jobs, and I would say now as an adult, not all those jobs are so dreamy because I think a lot more people would be doing them if they were.
Yeah.
What do you think makes people like see them as dream jobs?
Well, they're high profile, I think, when you look at an artist or an actor. You know, they are very inspirational.
Yeah.
They're very creative, right? These works are viewed by many and they get a lot of respect. I would say all of the roles that were listed in those top 5 were roles that people respect. I just thought about poor teachers for a second.
No, I was thinking that the whole time.
I really think they are a group that really deserve a lot more respect because they are doing the work.
More money.
They're doing the work. But I mean, I think even doctors or nurses too, right?
Yeah.
These are jobs that you interact with, and they're providing not just a really great service, but like they're helping in really high visible ways. Like everybody knows those roles.
You know what I'm really surprised about?
What?
That athlete wasn't on that list. Because I think that's also like a lot of people.
It's an old survey. Actually, I look again, and it was a 2021 survey, so it's not even that old. I thought it was 2018 to begin with.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people, like you're saying, like these high-profile roles that people look up to. I would think more people would want to be athletes.
More kids.
But in general. Like, I feel like people are like, ooh, I don't know athletes, so I'm not going to name a name. Blank.
I want to be blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you feel like people can actually be 100% happy with their job?
I think that's a big ask.
Yeah. I'm not 100% happy with anything. Yeah.
No. I don't know. No, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
That is like my firm opinion.
Definite answer.
It's been that way, and I still fully believe it.
Yeah. Why though?
Because there are so many things that you can't control.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're not working all alone and you control every aspect of the work that you do.
There's some people that work all alone.
Are they? But don't they have to work with other people?
Maybe they just answer to one guy.
What if that one guy is like the worst and he's ruining their dream job?
Okay. You're right.
I don't know. This is what I think about.
Okay.
This is what I think of that.
I feel like for me, like, okay, say I'm coming to you. I need some career coaching. Is it realistic for me to be like working and like striving to get to that dream job? Like, I'm not at it right now, but I know eventually I could get there. Is it realistic?
I mean, yeah, it depends on what that role is, right?
Okay.
It depends on like how realistic it is.
Astronaut. But I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Like, I have the job that I have.
You're a marketer.
But I know that eventually
you're a marketer
I want to
and
become
a job
an
search
astronaut.
Expert. And
Never broke a bone because I know that's a requirement.
Is that a requirement for real?
Can't have any broken bones.
Have you looked into this?
Yeah, like I learned that when I was a child.
This is a dream job. Got it.
I'm telling you. So you can't have any broken bones. So I'm already halfway there.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you telling me that that's realistic?
It can't be for you.
Okay.
But you have to be willing to put in the work, right? So you have to then
I just want to keep doing what I've been doing.
Then that's not going to happen, right? I mean, unless you film a podcast in space.
That's an idea.
Oh my God, I was going to say a movie.
Season 2. Okay.
Podcast in space. But if you want to be a legit astronaut, you know that you're going to have to really look at what that career path is, right? And you've got to work backwards and really look at where you are and break that down into attainable steps into how you're going to get there. Yeah. And some roles, it is just going to be harder than others, right? Because they're either highly competitive, they take extreme talent, extreme education. And so, of course, it's never to say that, no, you can't reach that job, but you do have to really work for it. And then there's always that possibility that when you get into that job, maybe it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be.
Okay, so that's me. Not exactly what I thought it was going to be. What should I be looking for then for a job? If I'm like, okay, dream job doesn't work out.
You should be looking for the things that make you happy. Yeah. Looking at the things that you're good at. When I work with a job seeker and talk about finding a right job, like finding a best fit job, I really prefer the term best fit over dream job because it's really personal.
Yeah.
What is a good job for you is very personal to you and your situation. There's an exercise that we do called a needs versus wants assessment.
Yeah.
So really going through and looking at what are your need to haves, because it could be, you enjoy working in a team environment. You know you like doing certain tasks. You know you need to make a certain amount of money or have certain benefits. And so you really write down what are those things that are your non-negotiables versus what are the things that you can let go? Like maybe they're not quite as important to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can include, things like salary and benefits, but also include things like role responsibilities in there. And then you use that template and this document that you've built for yourself as you're looking for jobs and as you're doing some career exploration to decide which ones actually match to what you said you really need.
Yeah, well, I'm disappointed now because I have to do all that work when all I want to do is be an astronaut. So where's the line between me settling or me being realistic? Where is that? Where does that exist?
Couldn't you do marketing for
astronauts?
Wasn't it? No. Yeah. Can you do marketing for some space programs?
I guess so.
So it's about, I think, sometimes it's not necessarily about settling, but it's about being realistic with what you're trying to achieve and seeing how close you can really get.
Yeah.
Because, we talk about this, you mentioned athletes and how you think that could be a dream job, right? Yeah. And there is kind of this example that's been used by other coaches I know when they talk about people who say they do want to be a professional athlete, but they're really bad at sports.
Me.
Right. So you may never be a professional athlete in the sense of you're going to be the player, but look at the things that you're really good at or look at the things that you have experience with. Doesn't mean that you can't work in marketing or PR or team management or work at a stadium or, really looking at all of the other potential roles in that industry and space and finding one that could be a good fit for you.
Well, why does it feel like settling then? Why does it feel so bad?
Because you're not an astronaut. Because you don't get to go into space.
Yeah. But I feel like there has to be some middle ground. You gave it a little bit, but I feel like I still want to be an astronaut.
Then you're going to get to go back to school. You're going to get to do all of, that's when you have to really do the work. Yeah. And if that's what you're passionate about, then you really have to kind of put in the effort to get there. Not
a hustler. Don't have hustler mentality. So I guess I'm never going to be an astronaut. Got the space buns, but not going to make it in space.
I think you're more than halfway there between the buns and no broken bones.
No broken bones. That's a skill set that I have.
That's a nice flex.
Thank you. So I feel like, are there things that for any job that I just shouldn't compromise or settle for, or for any listener / viewer?
I would say your values.
Yeah.
And this goes for, if you find a job that you think is your dream job and you find that it compromises with your values, that could probably mean that it's not a really good fit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's one of the bigger things that we talk about is making sure that your values are aligned with wherever you're working, because if they're not, then you should probably reevaluate yourself and what you're willing to put up with.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think for me, some people really feel like they want to reach for the stars. So maybe they shouldn't settle or compromise. Maybe they should just keep reaching for them stars.
Yeah, I think when you talk about dream jobs, it's always going to be a personal choice.
Yep.
Right? And it's always going to be about what does this job mean to you and what are you willing to do to, reach those dreams. But that's not to say that you can't find happiness and satisfaction in a job if it wasn't what you thought was going to be what you were doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like probably for some listeners, they're feeling like you can't avoid settling. Do you think that you can avoid settling for a job? Especially if you have a dream, that big, lofty dream.
Yeah. I don't think you need to be an expert in job seekers or have experience working with job seekers to be able to answer this question. Do you know what I mean? I think, is it avoidable? Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think it all comes down to there might possibly be things. It all comes down to your personal definition. What do you think is your dream job? How do you define it? Do I think you can absolutely find a job that is going to meet, your salary expectations.
Yeah.
You're going to play to your strengths. You're going to find challenging work. You're going to like be able to flex yourself, creatively, and you're going to enjoy all of those things. I think you absolutely can. Do I think that you're going to be happy every day of the work week? Maybe not, you know? And so again, it's like, how are we defining it for ourselves?
Yeah.
And then you can say whether or not it's avoidable for you.
I mean, I think you're right. Like, you don't have to be an expert to see that, like, some people become the professional athlete, some people don't. And that's okay, because we need more other things than just the athlete, the artist, the whatever.
The actors.
Yeah.
I think we do need more teachers.
I also need more teachers.
Definitely we need more teachers.
More
teachers and nurses.
Yeah, I do. I think that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are good dreams then. There's space for everybody. That's not good advice. Don't listen to me. Yeah. Anyways, so I have some questions about, if you can't always find that dream job or you're not able to attain that dream job, how do you know if a job is the right fit for you? That like may not be the perfect job, but is it the right fit?
Yeah, I think this comes back to self-reflection and thinking about what you enjoy most. I've talked about a few different exercises in past episodes, but some that I think are really great. 7 stories. I'll say that one again. Yep. These are things that you can do on your own. Really thinking back to those key moments in your life where you felt really accomplished and you felt like you achieved something you're really proud of. Yeah. And dissecting that a little bit and thinking about what was it that you were really proud of? What was it that you did? What were the aspects of that? And really thinking about what is it that you're going to enjoy doing as a whole? Yeah. And it kind of comes back to like finding your passion. Yeah. You may not get paid well for your passion, but it's about weighing what's important to you. Yeah. Because sometimes they're just not going to tick all of the boxes. Yeah. I feel like I have 2 thoughts on that. I want to hear them. So first, I feel like for me personally, I think finding the job that I liked was like also finding out like jobs that were good for my particular work style or like particular set of skills. And I think that can like really lead to happiness, is like feeling good about like knowing that your skill set is the right fit for the type of job that you're doing. Like everybody likes to feel good at work. And then also when it comes to passions, like maybe your passion shouldn't be your moneymaker. Sorry. Like maybe that's what hobbies are for.
Literally. I mean, I'm not an adult with hobbies. I feel like we talked about this. We know so many people with really cool hobbies. We don't have any. All we do is help job seekers all day, every day. But
it's what I enjoy.
For other people who like maybe want to become an athlete, maybe you're an accountant, but you go play basketball on the weekends with your friends. Boom.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to look outside of your job to find happiness. Yeah. You can look to other areas of life to really fill that gap. And look, if you can't get paid for it, maybe volunteer. Yeah. Right? You can use those skills or learn those skills somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like I also was like, I know what I definitely don't want to do. Like, AK, I'm not a lawyer. Like
I don't want to go to school anymore.
Don't want to go to school. So like, how can you find a job that you enjoy if you're only like, I don't like this, I don't want this, I don't like this, blah, blah, blah.
Sounds like a process of elimination. Yeah. I mean, sometimes knowing what you don't want can be just as valuable. But it does take a little bit of, like I said, career exploration. Yeah. Sometimes it takes you having to do a little bit of research into different career paths. Yeah. I think Indeed, for one, has a lot of great tools that you can use. Like we do have a career pathing tool where you can see what a day in the life of a particular role is like. Oh, yeah. And that's really great. I mean, if you don't get that information from us, get it from somewhere else, but really taking a look into what the day-to-day is really like and seeing, does that align with what you think you could be good at or you think you would really enjoy?
I mean, if anybody listened before, they're going to be like, wow, this is such a hot take, Gina. Good for you. Networking can help you find a job you may like.
You didn't like networking, Gina.
I hate it, but it could be good for other people. Yeah, it's a tool. They can listen to the episode where you talk about what to do if you don't like networking and you just hate it. But like you said, it's a good tool to have in your toolbox if you want to find a job that's good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's about having conversations. Talk to people. Find out what they do. Yeah. You don't have to like go to actual networking events if you don't want to, but starting with friends and family. Yeah. Starting with people you like and people you trust and getting to know like what do they enjoy most about their jobs and seeing that aligns with the things that you enjoy.
I mean, I'm one of those people who I'm like, couldn't tell you what my friends do at work every day. Yeah. But maybe if I actually talk to them about it, it could be a job that I like.
I mean, if you think about it, we're going to be working a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be working a long time.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I've been working for 22 years. How am I not retired yet?
I think you should be retired.
I got a long time to go.
After the last episode, you should just be like, this is it.
I'm out.
I'm done. I'm retired.
Another fun fact. Yeah. Did you know that according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average adult between the ages of 18 and 54 will have something like 12.8 jobs in their lifetime?
That's a lot.
You're going to be working a lot of different roles.
Yeah.
So try some different things out.
Yeah, just try it out.
Because you might find one that you didn't know that you really liked.
Yeah. I feel like...
try with intention, though.
Yeah, because I feel like I could work at that amusement park that you mentioned in another episode. I could be an astronaut, but should I? Probably not.
I don't know. Side hustles.
I don't believe in hustling. You know that for a fact. So you gave like some pretty good exercises to like finding out how you can figure out a job, but can you list any more?
Do some additional self-assessment. Pay attention to where you spend your time, where you are finding those enjoyments. Think about what industries you're really curious about. What types of roles spark your interest? And do a little bit of deep diving into what it's like. Again, not just to work in that role, but what it's like to even get into that type of field. Yeah. Because that in itself could tell you whether or not you want or can invest the type of time and energy needed to move into something like that.
I mean, all good advice. I feel like, you know, I probably could have used this when I really, really wanted to be an astronaut, but here we are.
A message for younger Gina.
Yeah. Speaking of younger Gina, we had a really great episode on transition queen. Speaking of younger Gina, we had a really good episode where we talked about like getting your first job. So I think like that we should kind of like circle back to that and kind of talk about like people who are starting their first job, starting their career, and still have this idea in their mind about dream jobs. So, you know, what do you do when you're just starting out and you just feel like that dream is so far, far away?
I mean, one thing that's really good is if you have a dream job in mind, or if you have any job in mind that you're working towards and you don't necessarily know how to get there, it's good to break anything down into smaller tasks. So especially when we're talking about moving towards a specific goal in your career, using something like SMART goals can be really good. So think of something that is specific, that is measurable, that is attainable, that is relevant, and that is time-based.
Makes sense.
So looking to see, essentially you're trying to break down this larger problem into smaller pieces. Yeah. And what something like that does is it allows you to kind of take baby steps, if you will. Yeah. Because sometimes if you're like, okay, I just graduated, but I want to be a VP, you're not necessarily going to be right in that job.
If that's someone's dream.
Unless you're going to work for a startup, and then you might be a VP.
That is wild if you're a dream. I want to be a CEO.
You could be.
Okay.
Some people have aspirations. Not me. But some people, they have aspirations. Yeah. And so really thinking about what are the steps you need to take to get there. Yeah. So it could be helpful to know what a traditional career path is to get to that type of role. Yeah. And if you're going to do that, you know, what are the goals might be to have some informational interviews with people in that role and to learn about their career journeys. And you want to give yourself a timeline that you can hold yourself accountable to. Yeah. So you're creating little benchmarks for yourself to hit to keep you on the right path.
Well, obviously I had such a visceral response to you saying someone's dream is a VP. Like, how do you really like set realistic career goals? Like, what if you're not cut out to be a VP? I mean, chase your dream, but...
You can start your own company. You're your own VP. No, you don't like that? Okay.
Yeah, give better advice, please. Thank you.
Gina.
I'm not trying to bully you.
I'm feeling attacked.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about how to get to kind of this larger dream, which might seem unattainable, there are different tools that you can use so that you can really identify what a potential career path could be. Yeah. And I think part of being realistic is knowing that it may not be a dream that you're going to achieve in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years. Yeah. You know, these things do take time, especially if these roles are loftier roles. They take that time to be able to get there and to have that level of expertise.
This is why I don't believe in hustle culture, because I feel like some people, I'm just saying, I think some people are like, I want to be a VP in 5 years and I just graduated college and it's going to happen. Maybe it could happen for some people, but I feel like you're making a good point that if you have a dream job, take your time. It's not going anywhere. like take your time to get to where you need to go for your career goals.
I think it's also just really being able to like understand that you can learn along the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not going to be a quick and easy path.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might take the scenic route on your career journey.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
People say that. Quotable. Anyways, so do you feel like you can really set yourself up for the career you want with that first job?
I think there are always skills or there are learnings that you can have from every job that you have.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that you mentioned earlier is just a learning could be that this is a job that you don't want.
Yes.
Right?
Don't want to be a lawyer.
So that outcome is just as valuable in the long run because you're still narrowing it down to understand what type of role could be ideal for you. Yeah.
I feel like, with my example, like I thought my dream job was in the sector I was in and like it was specific. I really wanted to be in that sector.
Yeah.
Not in that sector anymore. Do you feel like other people have to stay in the same sector and even in order to get to their dream job?
I mean, it depends on what that job is.
You're saying, like, I think you said in another episode where you were it could be this episode, but where you're talking about how like, well, maybe you can do that same job in tech or in healthcare.
Right. I mean, I don't know how many sectors you can be an astronaut in.
I mean, but you just told me I could do marketing for space stations.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I was a little lost with what you were asking.
Okay. Like, what? Do you have to be in the same sector in your first job in order to get to your dream job?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And a lot of people don't start out in in the job or the company or the industry or sector that they ultimately want to end up in, right? As you're evaluating job opportunities, especially as a new grad, it's really thinking about the assessment of what am I going to potentially learn here? Mm-hmm. And if, let's say you're somebody, if you're a new profession and you're still needing to gain some particular skills, which are applicable to multiple industries, it's okay to get them in one where maybe that's not where you want to end up. But again, it's that one step closer to something that you need to get you there.
Well, I feel like a good way to kind of wrap up everything you're saying is answer the question. Do you think dream jobs are realistic?
I don't think I will ever think a dream job is a realistic, not in the traditional sense. I think there are best fit jobs.
Yeah, best fit jobs.
Best fit jobs for sure.
Go for a best fit job, not a dream job.
Right.
Beautiful. We're going to take some time to take a question from a viewer. Leo is asking, I've been rejected from what I thought was my dream job and I'm heartbroken. What am I supposed to do now?
Well, you can grieve a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely take the time to process those emotions because rejection is hard, especially if it's a dream job scenario, right? It's something you've thought you've always wanted and it may be something that you still want.
Yeah.
So take the time to grieve and then assess.
Yeah.
Assess if it's something that you're still really interested in. And if it is, look down at where the breakdown in the process was.
Yeah.
Look to see if you still need to gain more experience. I mean, maybe you do need to take a job somewhere else to be able to give you more that you'll be able to apply to whatever that dream job is.
Yeah.
And then keep trying. I'm not going to poo-poo on Leo's dreams.
Don't give up, Leo.
Don't give up, Leo.
I mean, I just want to say, like, I'm really now thinking about, like, a lot of the jobs I applied for when I was first trying to get my first job and, like, thinking they're my dream job at my dream company and getting rejected. How devastating that was. But now I'm like, I was hurt. And now I'm like, look at me now. It's okay.
Rejection does hurt.
Yeah.
In the moment, it absolutely hurts.
Yeah.
And it even hurts when you're rejected from jobs that you don't necessarily think are your dream jobs.
Yeah.
Rejection just hurts overall.
Like, I'm not good enough?
No, you didn't want me?
I didn't even want you. Yeah, I feel that.
But no, absolutely. So really looking at that and then looking for those opportunities to improve. If it's something that you really want, then you've got to keep trying for sure. But really looking to see what are the gaps and how do I fill them?
This is going to be so annoying, but if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Okay, anyways, we're done. So thank you so much for listening and/or watching. And if you're ready for some more job search advice, make sure to drop a comment with a question for us any topics you'd like us to cover in the future. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Jen wants more of your job search stories so that she can give you some great advice. And we'll see you next time for a really, really, really fun episode where we break down common advice for job seekers to kind of separate the truths from the myths.
I know. I can't stop smiling because I'm really excited for this one.
Okay. And if you found any of this advice helpful, please make sure to subscribe, rate the podcast, and leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. Bye.
Bye.
I'm too close. She's too far.
I'm too heavy on my P's.
You're like,
I'm sweating profusely right now.
So bad. Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to cry. Okay. Go ahead.